life is like a video game, trying hard to beat the stage, all while I am still collecting coins.
Video Game High School is released 2012. Guys, what do we think of Video Game High School? Did we like it?
It's the best show that was ever made.
I love it.
It's for
Guy-
gamers like me.
We love gaming. Kai,
Not joking, but I really did enjoy watching the show.
I did too.
We all watched it together on stream basically all at the same time, and it was pretty enjoyable to just
Yeah,
it was fun.
it was
and just kind of
surprisingly.
yeah, like
It was surprisingly Kino.
I was expecting the worst, just absolute
I was-
garbage.
yeah, and there wasn't that
I
much
wasn't-
of it.
It wasn't too long. We only watched the first season and select cuts from an episode of the third season
yeah.
that we'll get to. That was very
A very special episode.
It's a very
Yeah.
special
A
episode.
very special. It is what you would call a very special episode in
Yeah.
television.
There was only one moment that caused me like physical pain, which was when the epic bacon guy who plays the principal said, "I'm not laughing. Do you hear any rufflecopters flying around?" And that and that was pretty grim.
He was
Harley-
definitely one of the
yeah.
worst parts of the show.
Yeah,
Harley Mortensen is in the show. The epic mealtime bacon strips
Heh.
guy.
Not only was he like a fucking bad actor, but he had the
Remember-
worst
Yeah.
lines.
He was
Like,
horrible.
his
That game
delivery
include a
was
mini
awful,
game
too.
about being full of crap.
Yes.
They made him a military drill sergeant of
Of a video game high school, yeah. Well, I mean the principal character, him
Yeah.
and
The
Freddy
strict
Wong,
principal.
ironically, are the worst parts of the show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Freddie Wong, 100%. Whenever he was on screen, he was the worst part of the show.
Even though he's
And-
like trying to like play up that he's bad in the show, like his character is inept and a horrible person, but he's still just awful at acting
Yeah,
and doesn't
We should-
get it across.
We should zoom out for a second and talk about the cultural moment of video
We should.
Game High School.
Also, we should
We
tell
should,
people
but-
what it is,
but-
because there's probably
give me 1
people who
second.
don't know what it is.
that's true.
We
There
need
are
to go
problems.
back even
You're right.
further.
It's been a fixture in our lives as extremely online.
Yes.
king.
We need to go back even further though and explain who Freddy Wong is.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. He has kind
because-
of just disappeared from the public sphere.
Video Game High School, before we even talk about the content, it's basically a vehicle for Freddy Wong's After Effects stuff. And Freddy Wong is a guy who makes all kinds of YouTube videos like Minecraft in real life or Call of Duty in real life, where he's showing off After Effects with a video game bent and getting 20 bazillion views back in the mid-aughts. So
Not even mid-aughts, like
Earlier
early
than that, early
aughts.
aughts.
Yeah, early aughts.
early aughts
Oh,
would
sorry.
be like
late
2000
aughts, early 10s,
Yeah.
sorry, is what I meant. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
How confusing.
But yeah, like that, the Freddy Wong, like, Corridor Digital thing, that used to be, like, huge. A huge thing on
Massive.
YouTube. And there was a lot of that happening back in the day where it was just, they didn't know how to expand that stuff, so they just said, let's just make a movie of it. Let's just make a TV show of it, of so
Yeah.
many different YouTube channels.
They weren't
and they
people-
all
weren't
sucked.
people who were. They weren't people who had experience like doing, because you have people on doing web series now. This was back in the day when a web series was like embarrassing to be associated with.
Right.
You didn't
How
have
embarrassing.
Everybody on this.
professional people who worked on actual film sets and shit. You didn't have Will Smith with a YouTube channel going, yo, rewind. What's
That's
going
how-
on? Rewind. You know.
Mr. Worldwide, me, Will
Mr.
Smith.
Worldwide. No, that was God. That's not, you're thinking of the wrong thing.
That's gaudy.
They're
Anyway,
When
very
Video
similar.
Game High School first came out, it was billed as like a Freddy Wong project. That's what got
Yeah.
people watching. Is he was already
Yes.
known for these modern warfare videos, and they, oh, he's making a TV show, and it's on the internet.
it was kind of significant I do remember when it came out. I don't think I watched it when it came out, but I do remember. Yeah, like
did.
It was huge. Yeah.
you did watch
I did
it.
when it came out.
Oh, okay.
I watched
For
yeah,
me, it was
Mike watched it, and
first time.
fucking Jack watched it. I watched a few episodes, but
Right, I had seen clips and like it was kind of like what I expected, so I didn't go any further.
You know, at the time I watched the whole thing, but even then it was like, this just feels like a really long Freddy Wong video.
Yeah,
yeah.
With
it was
less Freddy Wong After Effects editing and more blah blah blah. I don't know if I should be here at this video game high school. Well, maybe you can level up and we'll do it together. You're my friend.
and that is
And
kind of
that's
what
kind
the
of-
show feels like. Is every episode there's like the Freddy Wong section where a Freddy Wong thing happens. Like they go into Counter-Strike and they do the training course from Counter-Strike, and
They do
then
the After Effects.
there's 5 minutes before that of talking
They
and
do
5
the
minutes
After
after that
Effects.
of also talking.
They also
Yeah,
seem
all
to
the-
shamelessly rip all of their style of humor from Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, and then
AKA
all
a
of their
baby show
jokes.
for
I think we were
babies.
noticing. I think we were noticing throughout the show that they just stole jokes from other creators.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Well,
it's like
it's bottom of the barrel stuff anyway.
bottom
It's
of the
like,
barrel shit.
if Mario,
A lot
if Mario ate mushrooms,
What if Mario
Yeah,
smoked,
yeah, it's
smoked
shit like
weed?
that. It's like, what if the mushrooms in Mario were magic mushrooms? Wouldn't that be?
But that is pretty
Wouldn't
funny,
that be
you gotta admit.
spooky wild? Wouldn't that be crazy? He was doing. What if Mario did drugs? That's like the level of humor that's in the show. But I mean, that's I can't really knock it for that. It's well, I mean, I can.
Well, you
Is
can't
that
knock
Freddy
it for that
Wong-
because that is funny.
Dude, Freddy Wong. Freddy Wong.
hilarious.
I was shocked to learn not 10 minutes ago when you were reading his Wikipedia article that he's 35. He looks fucking 40 in the show.
Yeah,
that was
he's-
made
And that was
fucking years ago.
Now?
Yeah, that was almost 10 years ago.
So he was like 20.
He was like 20. Oh my god, he was younger than
Holy
me.
shit!
He was
looked
25,
40.
26 when he was making this fucking
It's-
show, and
yeah.
he looks 40 years old.
And his malign influence can be felt throughout the
his
thing.
malign.
because this show has 3 writers and 3 directors, just like all of our favorite shows, like Star Trek, Discovery, and whatnot. But Freddy Wong isn't any of the writers, which I was surprised by. He does direct. I assume he just directed all of the action scenes, the Freddy Wong
I'm pretty
scenes,
sure
but
that
he didn't
helped
write.
that episode.
He
The
must
Step
have.
No,
episode.
it's just, but it's like he's not one of the writers, but it's his company making it, and he's one of the directors, and he came up with the idea, so he is
It's
kind
probably-
of a de
it's
facto
probably-
writer
you know
just
what it
by
is?
Basically,
influence.
he's the Harvey Weinstein of the project.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't
Exactly.
say so.
But even Harvey
I would say
Weinstein
that's-
wouldn't make a movie about how cool Harvey Weinstein is, whereas
That's
that's
true.
what
No,
Video
Harvey
Game High
Weinstein-
School is.
Harvey Weinstein never directed anything. He never. I mean, I guess his company produced all the things, but he was just like the guy who was like, "Okay, suck my penis, and I'll give you $5 million, and
Yeah.
you'll star in the." Freddie
Right.
Wong. A better analogy for Freddie Wong would be a more apt analogy would be like David Chase, where he's the creator, he's the mastermind, he's the
Yes.
creator.
Mhm.
He directs some episodes, he writes some episodes. He's always involved, but he doesn't do all of those things on.
He
every
must
episode,
sign off on mostly everything
for sure.
that happened on the
He's sort
show.
of, as a director, he's more like a Martin Scorsese,
Mhm,
where
Mm.
he's wearing just about every hat except the screenwriter.
mhm. Yeah.
If you think
And
of
he's also better.
if you think of the Video Game High School as kind of the mafia, he's like the John Gotti of the Video
He's
Game
like
High
the-
School. He's
he's
the
Gotti.
boss.
Freddie Wong is the Gotti of Video Game High School.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah. So
We should say that with Freddie Wong being, if we can go back for a second, with Freddie Wong being the worst part of the show, ironically, the best part of the show is his brother Jimmy Wong. He has some actual. There's like some. He's the only character that made any of us actually laugh, not
What?
at the show, but
No, what?
No,
No,
his
no,
brother.
No, you're
No.
completely wrong.
I would say
Yeah.
I would say the best character is fucking the Law, the guy who plays.
Yeah,
Dez.
definitely
okay,
Law.
Okay. No. If we want to talk about the best performance, it's the Law. But the best character, I would say, the fucking
The Asian
he had like
sidekick.
3 jokes. The only
Wait,
3
what were
jokes
they?
that
I can't remember them.
I
There was
gotta
one-
disagree with you on this one.
There
Cheeto
was
is
one-
definitely the best written
Yes.
character.
Cheeto, yeah, well, Cheeto is good. Cheeto is good. He shows up. Cheeto's the cat. His name's Cheeto because it's a snack that
gamers-
gamers eat. It's a
Kind
gamer
of the
snack.
Am I right,
inciting
gamers?
incident of the whole thing. Like him going after Cheeto is what puts him in the position to
Oh,
take out the law.
wow.
It reminded me of Llewyn Davis.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
We're connecting all the
They're the
episodes
same
together here.
But there was one. Okay. Let's. I guess we'll go episode by episode and just kind of go through plot points and shit.
Yeah, because
In,
probably
in agonizing detail.
yes. We should make it so you can kind of watch this episode without having seen it. Although I do recommend that you watch it, preferably
watch all-
preferably with a friend on Discord.
There will be
I think that's the best
spoilers
way.
ahead.
Yes.
This is your
Spoilers
last
ahead.
warning. You do not want Video Game High School spoiled. This is your
Oh
last
Back
wait,
away
remember?
now.
Okay,
chance.
so the first, let me just go through it. So the first episode, we're on a set. What was the very first thing that happens?
The first scene that happens is that Brian D is riding home from school
Right.
to make his clan match. But
Right.
it opens with the clan match. They're all
Okay.
on the roof
Oh,
shooting.
What?
you're right. You're right. Okay, so it
What's-
opens with like they're playing a video game, and the game it's not a real game. They don't use like a real game. They just do like the actors in the game, but it's got Freddy Wong After Effects all over the.
Yeah, it's all live action.
It's all live action. We've got some guys playing a game, and then we've got Brian D, who is our main character, who, by the way, is one of the only actual stars in quotes in the show. He's the guy in No Country for Old Men who gives Anton Chigurh his shirt back at the end after the car crash.
Yeah.
If any of
In
you
that
if the
in that film,
film
he's
seen-
sort of like a personification of man's ability to just look away and not ask questions.
Yeah,
Very
it's-
profound, very good. And I think Brian D is a role of a similar quality. I think
Yeah.
that he
Mhm.
really knocks it out of the park with this one.
I mean, the
Where
thing
was
that
that?
unifies both of those roles is really their
Looking good, Josh.
say about the proximity to,
Josh here.
evil, to pure evil that you can be and not even know. But
Is Freddy Wong the Anton Chigurh of Video Game High School?
he's
would
the
say
anti-singer. So he's riding home, and then he gets beat
But
up.
I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
I don't remember what he was riding home on. Was it just a normal bike?
It was a
just
normal
normal
bike.
bike.
It was just a normal bike. Okay.
That's
Because
what I
within
was-
the
I know you
yeah.
say.
Okay. Go ahead. Go
We're
ahead.
gonna talk about that. Okay, so he gets beat up by like 2 bullies, or like they say
They're
like
RTS gamers.
early
They're
two-
strategists.
yeah, they say like what people in 2005 think that people who play video games say. You know, like you got fucking pwned. You got owned and pwned.
Do you not say
Um, and it's real life, right? But then the 2 bullies, they get on a dual bike, a double bike.
A tandem
They
bike.
fly
Yeah.
away.
The wheels
And
glow,
That's your hint.
and yeah,
that's
it's
like
they
it's
couldn't go.
showing you. Like they couldn't
that?
just
We call
show a
that world
calendar.
building.
Yeah, exactly. It was more interesting than showing a calendar that just said 2045. You know.
You also had to make sure people who clicked on this they knew it was a Freddy Wong thing.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't have gone 10 minutes without some dumb Freddy Wong After Effects bullshit. That's
Right.
completely out of nowhere.
It's completely out of nowhere. It was like, what the fuck? It felt like in the
Look.
Matrix 2.
I honestly,
whatever.
I kind
We'll
of
keep
like
coming
that.
back to this probably, but my basic problem with the show, I'm not expecting Citizen Kane out of Video Game High School.
Well, yeah,
but
of course.
it should kind of be what it is, which is a Freddy Wong vehicle, and all these scenes of just like walking around and talking and not doing After Effects things, it drags so heavily, and that is the worst part about it, when it's not being fun to laugh at or with.
Yeah,
and
when
there's
the
nothing
law's not on
interesting
the
to look
screen.
at. When the law is not on the screen, and nothing's blowing up, then you're just forced to look at people riding bicycles or whatever.
And being sad. Yeah.
I kind of
Or
like
being-
the
I don't even know
bicycle
what-
detail in terms of showing like the technological advancement of the world, I guess. And just
But
establishing
everything
that
else-
straight away.
Everything else
But
looked
then-
the same.
But yes, but that's the well, and I drew this analogy when we were watching it. I'll come back to it later. But the universe is kind of like Fallout, where like things have progressed in the way that people would have thought technology would have progressed in like the late aughts, but in the dumbest way possible. With
bikes that fly.
right,
Like would have,
but
like
also
what would
like
have been cool or
right, what
whatever.
would have been cool, and also like total cultural stagnation, but technological
Yeah.
progression. Yeah.
Very big themes.
Anyway,
Yes, they're all explored very heavily in
yes, but okay. So then
Exhausting.
moving, we'll move on a bit. But anyway, so then he's in his game that's like Call of Battlefield of Honor or whatever, basically, and then
Yeah.
he does a really sick, cool, epic kill that you would make a Twitch clip of and share on Twitter against
Well,
another epic
let's not-
gamer.
Let's not race ahead here. We need to talk about the law and how he's introduced in this scene.
Of
Oh,
course.
right,
So
right.
They
Okay, so, Brian,
randomly cut to a clip on the television that shows that the president is being held hostage or has been kidnapped or is dying or something like that. And they interrupt you to bring you this cool kill reel. And it's an interview with the Law, who's the greatest gamer of all time. And he's going to pub stomp on live TV.
Jimmy
Yes.
Matrix.
So then it cuts back to the law is going to do an epic cool pub stomp on TV, and then Brian
yeah, like
D,
on the news
You're right, right at the evening
for
news.
some reason.
Right, and then Brian D, just a quiet, unassuming kid, manages to pull off an epic cool kill against the law by like the law like puts a grenade on his head and he's about to shoot the grenade, and then Brian D,
Yeah, because
like,
Brian was AFK because he was chasing his cat,
Right,
or
right.
whatever.
and then Brian D
Cheeto.
like
There's Cheeto, right? He's-
backs
Yeah,
away,
Cheeto.
and then like melees the grenade at him and then like shoots the grenade, and he does an epic kill against the greatest gamer of all time, and people like,
He
does all this,
owns
holy
the law
fuck,
on
this
the
guy
news.
killed the law.
Law, who is the
Oh my
greatest
God.
gamer to game, and he does all this by simply by pressing D and then space on his keyboard, which is
Right. That is how games work.
that's how games work.
That's yeah. But anyway, so then after that
Can we talk
is on the
about that
news. Yeah, we will, because there's more examples later.
There's
Of
there's
this
so many
extremely
fucking
dumb-
examples of
right. But then
Like,
he gets an
the-
invitation to the video game high school, which is like the most prestigious. It's like the Harvard of video games in this
It's
world.
the Hogwarts of video
Right.
games.
Yes.
There's a lot of Harry Potter shit. They were basically
Like
trying to
flying
make Harry
bicycles.
Potter but it's a video game high school where you play video games.
Doesn't this
Instead of
concept just sound bulletproof? Just it's so good, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's why it makes such
But,
a
like,
good show.
There's stuff that like doesn't make sense, like just in the world itself that you don't really expect to make sense. Like, why is this? Is this the only video game high school in the
And
world?
why is it like so fucking prestigious and
Why is
shit
it
like
so
that?
prestigious?
Yeah,
There's esports teams. There's esports teams outside of the
It's the
the high
UA
school.
of the video game high school universe.
there's-
it's the best,
there's-
most elite one, but not the only one.
Also, why are there
Well,
40-year-olds
but
as
it's
students in
video
this high school?
It's called video game high
They make references to normal schools. Like they say, oh, I'm going to go be a sniper at Yale or Harvard. So if regular schools exist and have video game teams, why is there one just for video games?
I'm gonna learn how to do quick scope.
I'm gonna be a quick scoper for the Skull and Bones Club.
Yeah. the Skull and Bones Society. Yes, the Skull and Bones land matches. I'm gonna fucking dominate. I'm gonna kill George Bush in Modern Warfare 2.
Like, I don't think we need to. I don't think we have the time, or we need to go episode by episode. But that's the basic setup, you know. And then
That's just, no, we
Right.
won't do like yeah. We'll just go. We'll sort of freestyle, but go plot point by plot point, kind of. But there's so many so yeah, there's things like that don't really make sense. Where it's like, okay, it's there's 400 people in this high school, and yet the like esports thing is like a massive. It just seems like a very insular. It's not explained very well. It seems like a very insular system that wouldn't make any money, except for people who actually go to the schools, I guess. I don't know. But there's things in the fucking game itself. Like the game they play doesn't make sense from like a game perspective, especially like a shooter. It's allegedly made by people who play games, right? And the
Right.
people who watched the show back in the day played games. So that stuff didn't really make sense
Like
to me.
there was the one part where his keyboard is fucking up so that, or like his mouse is fucking up so it like holds down even when he's not pressing it. And then he gets the bright idea to like throw a gun at someone. And then the idea is because the mouse is held down, the gun keeps shooting in the air when he throws it away because his mouse is clicking.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
wouldn't
that's
you
how
be
it
able to
works in
do
a
that?
Video game, you drop a gun, and then it'll you can
And then you
keep
press your
using it
mouse.
after you've dropped it.
Yeah, like that
Yeah,
doesn't
but
even.
Didn't really make sense to me because it's like, okay, so that's like a layman's understand.
Basically,
Kind of knows video games, like in their periphery, knows about them. Like their understanding of what like a video game glitch is, you know?
yeah, Brian D's superpower is his ability to be lucky in a world where nobody understands that that's possible. The law has just never been beaten ever. Oh, it just can't be done. And then he's the first one to get like a little slightly lucky and do it, and then everyone's gobsmacked. And then he continues to get lucky until he's just the best ever by dint of luck.
Yeah, he doesn't really. As far as your standard sort of like high school coming of age story, he doesn't really. He gets the girl in the end. He gets Jenny Matrix. Jenny Matrix is another character that's completely
He's
Very
forgettable.
important character.
I'm sorry, Michael, but I have to correct you. You only watched season 1, and as a veteran of video game high school,
Mhm.
Brian D does not get the girl in the end.
Whoa.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
what happens
that's
in the end with
fucked up.
Jenny Matrix? Spoilers. What happens in the end?
Yeah, spoilers for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Oh wait, are
Well,
you
he-
actually not telling us?
speaking of Jenny Matrix, we should
we can't have this spoiled. Yeah,
we should
It's
introduce
good.
Jenny Matrix as a character
You
as
got-
well.
Oh, you think he got done in by the Mossad?
He's not
you know-
here.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
The
you
show's
back
no
to the-
different.
What?
He's dying.
Come
The
in.
show's
You're...
no different without Jenny Matrix. You can just not mention her.
No.
No.
I think it's important, as in like she is the perfect 2011 idea of the hottest girl of all time if you're a gamer, which
yeah,
is
essentially
a white
no ass,
girl, no
nice
ass,
Blonde,
blonde,
and she
blue
plays
eyes.
like dirty blonde or whatever.
Yeah, and she talks about how she's gonna kick the other team's ass and totally
she's a top.
snipe them
Yeah.
and stuff
She wants
like
to be on
that.
the varsity esports team,
Right.
SPS esports team.
If you're a 14-year-old watching video game high school, she's like, holy fuck, has there ever been a more attractive woman on earth?
Yeah, you would love to come.
And that's what
You'd
I
love
mean
to
by
come
the
and
way
rap.
that this show is like just totally culturally stagnant. It's like a time capsule from
sure.
Modern Warfare 2. It's another.
That's what makes it fun to watch.
Yeah, that is, yeah. Like everything, all of the casting, like the Asian sidekick, and then the other love interest character of the Asian guy is the redhead, autistic, manic pixie dream girl, which is like a trope that's been kind of dismantled and made fun of so much that they don't really do it anymore.
It's kind of disappeared, yeah.
Right, but that's the other perfect idea of the hottest woman is just a baby who also treats you like a baby
Yeah, treats you like a baby and takes care. I want to take
and,
care of you.
and wipes your ass and changes your diapers so you can game
Take
more.
care of
Yeah,
She's you want a girlfriend that'll do like the Cartman's mom when he's playing World of
Yes.
Warcraft. She puts the shit thing. She puts the portable toilet under his ass, so he shits in it. That's
That
the
is
kind of
a good
that's
metaphor for the
the
role
girl.
she provides to the show.
Yeah,
What?
She's
like
a shit catcher. She catches other people's shit and tries to elaborate on it, but like there's never anything, original or engaging being sourced from that character.
Well, yes. There's the. I mean, I was. No one was expecting that really from the show. But like, I don't think it's fair. I think Mike's right. I don't think it's fair to like critique it too much as
it shouldn't have done these things. It didn't need to do these things well. It just shouldn't have done them.
Yeah,
Like,
there's a lot
have been.
that shouldn't have been in the show. Yeah,
It should have been like the beginning of Saving Private Ryan. If it was going to be an extended
For
Freddy
90
Wong
minutes.
YouTube video, just do an effects reel that's long. Do like an actual bloody Modern Warfare 2 Saving Private Ryan thing.
But they couldn't have gleaned $2.4 million over 3 seasons for just a long effects reel.
You kind of could. You could just frame it for. Well, actually, you're right. You could not milk it for many seasons. That way, but if it would have been more in keeping with Freddy's, Mr. Wong's
his vision.
right?
Director.
Yeah, it is kind of. Zack Snyder's a really good parallel here because it's like the 3.5 hours of the Snyder cut that are just people standing around and talking. I mean, that's the worst stuff. The Flash running around is kind of cool. Superman flying around is kind of cool. That's
no, it's not. That's miserable because he's flying into buildings and killing thousands of
What do you
innocents
mean? That's the best part.
every time he flies.
Right.
No, it was more fun. It was more fun in like in I guess we'll turn this into a Justice League. This is the Justice League. We're just doing everything in the Justice League. That stuff's more fun. In Man of Steel, it was way more miserable. It's still miserable in like Justice League, but Man of Steel was way worse in that regard.
Hey
When he's
guys,
just
I
flying around.
updated my gaming peripheries.
Okay, he's
Yeah.
back.
Okay, cool. Back to
But,
video
but
game.
also they would have run out of budget if it was just Freddy Wong stuff
Yeah.
because the Freddy Wong stuff, it's I'm not going to say it's like well produced, but it's like they have like real guns and there's like action and moving the camera around.
Yeah, they have like fatigue.
Slow mo. There's a lot of effects.
They're in
when
a
the people get
location.
killed. Yeah, the locations, and then
They're in
the
the
high
film
school
location.
shit looks like worse than a
It
shooting
looks
film. It looks
horrible.
like a high schooler made
Well,
it.
no.
Yeah.
Well, also let's keep in mind it looks nothing like a high school. It's a college campus.
That's
Yeah,
That's
everything
I wanted
about
to-
That's a
I wanted
running
to bring that up.
theme
Yes.
with the show is that it should have been video game college.
That would have
Yes,
been
let's
much
talk
better.
about that
And it's sort of, but at the same time, they did do some like high school like they want to have both of their they want to have their cake and eat it too, kind of like Life is Strange, where it's like we go to parties and we drink, but we're in high school. It's like the high school. I don't know what fucking high school these fucking retards went to. No high school has like these massive college level parties. It just doesn't happen, and they kind of want to have both of those things.
Yeah, it's strange. They straddle the line between high school and college in a weird way, where they try to have some of it, but they can't really be video game college because they don't want to be realistic in any way.
Well,
So
I would like to actually critically analyze this for a moment because I think there's something there. I think that the reason that they made them high schoolers instead of college kids is because then they could make them indecisive babies who are immature at every
Yeah.
turn, and it makes sense.
That's what I mean.
But
what I
all
mean.
of the situations that they're placed in are things that a high schooler would not encounter, or just would not have the life experience to go through.
and also, let's be honest, their target
Yes,
audience.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, the target
the
audience
biggest
is like
factor, in
primary,
my
middle
opinion.
school, like early high school.
Right.
Yeah,
I
late
would say
middle school.
elementary
Yeah.
school, middle
AKA
school,
not
elementary
us.
school.
Well, we watched it because we were in those.
As a
We were
cultural
the target
artifact.
audience. We were the target audience when the show came out.
Yeah.
So here we are, 10 years later, watching it not as the target audience, going, "Wow,
We are the
remember
last
Modern
group-
Warfare 2." That's the big key takeaway from this whole thing is remember Modern Warfare 2.
I
we are
do.
the
And I
last
do.
group
I
of
actually
video
do.
game high school fans still talking about the show today.
there's
even
legions of
even
fans.
all of that as a given, like the disconnect between seeing like 20s and then in some cases 30s like year-old actors in like the high school character is like
Especially the Law.
so
Right,
distracting.
Especially the Law.
It's like it's completely like obviously you have to suspend your disbelief for this fucking stupid Freddy Wong show, but like
It
it's-
was very difficult.
it's a 35-year-old man in front of me. I cannot believe that this is supposed to be a high schooler.
Yeah. I mean, you get that shit in like Richard Linklater's Dazed and Confused. All of those all of the characters in that film look like they're 40 years old and they're like, "Oh, it's the last day of high school." Wow. You know. So you get that in
Right.
like professional Hollywood movies. So I can't really knock Freddy Wong too much for that.
For the
only-
most part, they do a good job with it. Like Brian D and Jenny Matrix and
Yeah,
the
they're good.
redheaded girl, they're all
look-
fine.
But then there's like
They're
a
all
scene where
fine
the
as a high
redhead girl
schooler.
is like dressed up as a secretary and she looks like she's from the 1980s. And it's like extra
Yeah,
bizarre.
I will say
I think it's
most
just 'cause she has, like,
noticeable
a-
with the extras. Like it seems like they just have a lot of straight up adult extras that they didn't
Yeah,
bother
that
to
too. Yeah.
costume.
I
The
think
extra-
the most egregious example is the Law, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's the like the only character that was distracting at first, but he actually puts in a good performance. He's not
Yeah,
bad.
he's the best part of the show.
Yeah, definitely.
sure.
Yeah, he's
It's
fine.
I don't know his name. It's the 5-second films guy. Which is like another thing that was like mid-10s was kind of big and is not really a thing anymore.
Brian
Don't do
Ferenzi.
that.
Forensic. Okay.
Where they literally do a movie in 5 seconds. Was that it?
Yeah, it was like
Was
Vines.
it similar to
It was like
was it
Vines
similar to
before
that,
Vines.
How It Should Have Ended? Was it similar to that a little bit?
I'm not sure. I never
Yeah.
really watched it, but I just know that that's what he was from.
Okay.
And the other thing is he's meant to be like he's meant to be like a Chad, like he's like a hot guy and he's the best
Oh,
gamer
yeah.
as well, but he is just such an average looking guy. Like he
30-year-old guy.
he just looks
He
like
looks
he's
normal
not
as
bad
fuck.
looking, but he just is like an average looking fucking like 30-year-old. I don't know, or like late
Yeah.
20s.
The problem with his casting is that he looks normal as fuck. He just looks like a normal person.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
doesn't look like a bully kind of you know.
Yeah, or jock or whatever they're
Yeah.
No,
going
he
for.
doesn't.
Well, here's a question: would it have been the same if that's how he looked? Like if they just made him look like a fat neckbeard loser master gamer and they gave him the same script, would it be interesting?
That would be funny. That would
be
I
funny.
feel like that could
That would
kinda
be
work,
interesting. I think,
actually.
yeah. I think I mentioned that when we were watching. Is like you either do him as like the Chad jock, or you make him a basement neckbeard guy that's like the best video gamer or whatever.
And that would kind of
And
get across the
like,
point
he's the
more of
bully.
how much like the gaming culture has
Yeah,
affected
yeah.
everything, that even like a fat disgusting nerd can be like a Giga Chad if he's really good at no scoping people.
And they do sort of have that character with the what's his name, James Game. What was his fucking name? What was his fucking name?
Yeah, James Dean.
James
What was his name?
James Dean.
Dean. How do you not
Oh,
remember? that?
James D.
Like James Dean.
James Game.
James Dean.
James Dean. James. He was the bodybuilder in
The
the
name's James.
James
James.
But yeah, he's like he looks like Josh Peck from early Drake and Josh, like a fat
Yeah,
nerd guy, and
fat Josh Peck.
he's kind of like this built up as like one of the top gamers at the school or whatever. But he's also like the comedy relief
No.
sometimes. He's
no,
not?
No. He's the he is
But he's
a
a Chad.
first year student there.
Yeah, but
Right, but
every
he's a Chad
time,
and a good gamer.
every time like
Yeah.
something bad happens to Brian D, James Dean is there being cool.
James
Yeah.
Dean's character is
And people are like-
Wears a fedora.
And people are, like,
parasite
sucking
off
up
of
to him,
Brian
and
D's success.
Yeah, and he has like goons. He has his own goons and shit.
Yeah, and as chicks. and stuff.
That's in like one scene.
No. He has chicks.
still
in
has, like,
other
a-
games. No,
Yeah,
he's
he has like a
cool guy.
posse with him all the time.
They're
Yeah,
perched
He's
on
sort of
adjacent
like-
rooftops with sniper rifles and other scenes.
He's sort of like
you just see the glint when the sun
he's very
hits the
similar-
scope.
He's very similar to Measurehead from Disco Elysium.
What?
Yes, that's actually a good analogy.
I guess.
Incredibly
Spoons
racist.
around him and ladies around him, and he's like, whenever Brian D comes up, he's like, "Hey, Brian D, you want to suck me off or whatever?" You know?
Yeah, very measured.
Want to suck me off?
Yeah. My name is Games Dean.
Yeah.
I'm James Gaines.
James Games.
What else happened in the show?
Well,
Are there any other points you would like to touch on, Kai?
they
Who says
they had-
S my D?
Oh, the
okay,
law
that was
says
the
that's
law.
my
There's-
D, yeah.
there's,
That was the
uh,
law. Yeah.
Oh,
Styling might
I
do.
I'd like to talk
And
about.
what does he actually
Brian-
mean by that?
he says something else afterwards. They don't leave it hanging
Yes,
in the air. 'cause
styling might do. Yeah.
Style might do.
And then he combs his
Which
hair.
sucked. They should have just let it hang.
Yeah, they should have just
yeah.
left
And
it.
this show
His
for
ass might
children.
be-
Should've left it. And after he says that, Brian D starts a race riot at the school. And
And the law punches a girl.
the law. Oh my God! That's
Which
one
is
of my
one of-
favorite moments in the show. That's one of my favorite moments. Brian D is being held by a girl. She's like holding him. She's like, imagine like bear
Not
hugging him.
romantically.
Yeah,
Yeah, like holding him still
this
to
is
get
during
hit.
a race riot. And if you think we're not kidding here when we say there's a race riot in the show. And
We are
there's an
kidding,
anti-Asian.
to be clear.
There's an anti-Asian race riot by the actors who didn't want to be in the show anymore, and they filmed it and they put it in the show. But Brian D is being held by a lady from the back, like bear hugging, and then the law comes up and he's gonna punch Brian D, but Brian D ducks, and you just see a 35-year-old man punch a woman right in the fucking face.
It's the kind of upper level misogyny that they only teach you at video game high school.
Yeah. That part ruled.
That was the best
The
episode.
rest, not so much, kind of. But that part, I really like that part. If that was the whole show, I would have really enjoyed that.
Okay.
I think that was the other.
So-
I think that scene was good too because it wasn't a Freddy Wong scene. It was in like the high school drama shit, but they were having like
But
a
also
big
the
fist
race
fight.
riot.
Right, and yeah, a race riot. That was what
I
made
was
that
thinking
episode.
It
at
was
that-
the penultimate climactic moment. Was
Right,
that
and that is when he
whole
gets
ladder
expelled.
Yeah.
scene? It has to combine the
Oh,
Freddy
the
Wong
fucking-
effects to make it extra epic.
The fucking whole expelling plotline also makes no
Oh,
fucking sense.
right, yeah.
Oh yeah, where they just go to a different place for a full episode and then get rid of every fun thing in the show.
Oh yeah.
Well, not only that,
Remember
but
when
just
that
like the
guy
mechanics about the
challenges,
expulsions.
So like
Well, let's-
you can get
okay,
if
so
you're a
let's-
good
fight.
enough gamer, they'll just let you
duel.
back in the school.
So let's go step by step here, like from when he gets expelled to that episode, because it's very weird. It's a very weird episode.
He gets
I-
expelled
I-
for the race riot.
Okay, but before
He
that,
tells a hate
It's
crime.
unfair.
it's set up that if you lose too many games, you have gamer score that goes up and down based on winning or losing games. I don't know how really they calculate that, and based on
Well, it's also
kind of-
kind of like uses
It's completely
disciplinary.
inconsistent too, because
Like,
like,
if you-
sometimes it will be unsanctioned games that people are playing and their score will still go down, and other
Yeah, I
times
didn't
they'll be like
understand that
playing
either.
at a
Yeah.
party and nothing happens.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but he has one gamer point, and then he stages a race riot, and he gets expelled because of the race riot.
'Cause he
Somehow
punches the law on the balls.
he punches the law in the balls, and somehow because of the race riot, his gamer score went down. I don't know how that really fits in.
Right. Well,
the,
actually, that
he
was
didn't
okay.
win the
It's
race
it's
riot.
it's when he called the Lord's sidekick a spick. That's what actually got him kicked out.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of video game high school.
Right. Yeah.
Was when
And
they
the other
started
stuff was
hurling
okay. It's
racial
when he
epithets
it's
at
when
each
he
other.
pulled out that one is when he got kicked
That's
out.
when he. Okay,
when
that's when
James
his gamer
Dean
score.
frames Brian
But
D
shouldn't-
for saying racial epithets.
Yes.
But the more racist you are, shouldn't your gamer score go up? Really?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that should give you
That's
like
really
extra
very
powers.
odd choice. Odd choice. You would think video game high school there would be racial slurs flying left and right.
Well, actually,
everyone's a real
that's a
gamer.
good point. We never see Brian use any racial slurs, which probably counted against his gamer score.
That's why he's at the bottom, about to be expelled.
I see.
All
see.
the other students off camera are just saying it
Oh,
all the
Oh.
time.
I fucking hate being in this fucking Chinaman show. I fucking. I'm sorry, Freddy Wong.
The cameras weren't even rolling.
The cameras were rolling. Chinaman isn't really a racial slur, wouldn't you say?
It's kind of it's getting there, you know.
I don't know. Let's ask one. Let's go ask
Yeah,
one.
Kai.
I mean, but Kai, you're as an Asian person, as a person of Asian descent,
As a POC.
Of
a
Asian
person of
persuasion.
a POA.
As a person
It
of Asia.
sounds like we should wrap this up.
Well,
What do you
no,
mean?
Actually,
I'm fucking in the middle of
we-
calling Kai a racial slur.
Listen, we still have a whole nother episode to get through.
All
Okay,
let's-
right,
let's-
yeah,
The
that-
final
Very
uh,
episode.
special episode of Video Game High School that we have not mentioned up until this point.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
shit, you're right.
Despite-
Fuck, I forgot.
Despite Freddy Wong not being a writer on most of the episodes, he does play a major character in the show. He plays a professor, he plays himself, and he's a rock god guitarist for like rhythm gaming, like Guitar
And
Hero
he's
type of
the-
stuff.
He's the father of the Asian sidekick.
He's
to
the
main
father.
character.
There's an Asian guy named Theodore Wong in the show, and his real name is Jimmy Wong, and he's the younger brother of Freddy Wong. But in the
Right.
show, he plays Freddy Wong's son.
But for
Which is
additional
odd.
context,
Which is insane.
The age separation between them is 1 year,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he's playing his father.
But like it works because Freddy Wong is 30 and looks 50, and his brother
No, he's
is
20. He's fucking 25 in the show. And
Are
he
you
looks,
fucking
40.
kidding me?
Show.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
and he
He
looks like
looks-
he's 40.
Yeah, he does. And his brother looks
Like a high
well,
school. Like
yeah,
a,
well, he,
like a
I mean, he
11th
kind
grader or
of he kind of
something.
looks his age, but then like the way he kind of acts and plays it up, he does look
Yeah.
younger.
Yeah.
But you could see
It's
him
believable.
you could
It
see him as a
requires
high
great
schooler or as a
sacrifice
23
to become
year old.
a After Effects master. You need to give up a lot of physique,
Oh,
a lot
he-
of
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's,
A guitar hero.
that's understandable.
His little brother drained his life force so he could retain his youth.
But is there something we didn't really get? We didn't really come to a conclusion. Is there something weird sexually about your young brother
Yeah.
playing your son
No,
in
yeah, I
a
think that
show
is weird.
you made and that you wrote?
Yeah, and especially in an extended context where like it's not just a one-off gag. Like it's haha, I got my brother here, guys. Let's film him and like
Yeah, he's fucking obsessed with
opportunities
Freddy.
my son.
Yeah, he's a major
Yeah, no,
character.
they make it the entire character of Teddy Wong, or what's his name in the show?
Theo.
Jimmy.
Freddie Wong is Freddie
James
Wong is
Games Wong.
popular,
James
and-
Games.
and he's the reason people are watching the show, and so they're gonna mention him all the time for his fans.
Yeah.
I guess. But anyway, there's one episode where they do the opening, and it's the exact shot-for-shot opening of Lawrence of Arabia.
We should say
and
this
which
is in
I
season
found-
this is in season 3, but we didn't watch
Yeah,
this
season
season. Yeah, we just
ahead.
watched this episode.
And watch, because we heard from our intelligence officers here that there was an episode where Freddie Wong dies in the show, and everyone's sad that Freddie Wong is dead.
Very sad, very tragic, very sad.
The tragic death of Freddie Wong. And that does happen. It does happen. It happens exactly like T.E. Lawrence dies in the intro to fucking Lawrence of Arabia.
They don't
It's-
show him dying though. They just
Yes, except for
and like if you didn't know that reference, you would have been like,
no, it was a reference. Yeah, it's
yeah,
not-
and you
Which
wouldn't have known he died.
it's a weird thing to reference, and you're in a show called Video Game High School.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah, it's not even
Well,
a
you know,
tribute.
they're-
It just
they're
it comes
great
across as a
filmmakers,
rip-off more
so
than a
they Need
tribute.
to make,
Yeah,
Just because
in
it's so weird.
making this series, Freddie Wong has become an auteur filmmaker, so he needs to reference the greats.
Right, an autist
He,
filmmaker.
he is an auteur. I have to get on a work call, so I'll do that.
We'll
All right.
handle the rest from here.
we'll take care
take
of
it away,
that.
boys.
Have good
Fuck off.
game on, brother.
So
Yeah.
this episode begins with all of our main cast members arriving at like one of the girls, the Manic Pixie girl's house. She's quit school and there's a bunch of shit going on in the show at this point. It's kind of convoluted, but everybody's like in a bad mood and mad at each other by the time that they announce Freddie Wong's death. And it's just kind of designed to be this very generic, like, shut everybody up and, oh, my problems aren't important anymore. Oh.
It's like something that
And,
would be
the
out of
way
like
they-
The Office in the later seasons where they got
But
into
what
like
makes it
relationship
so
shit.
special is Teddy Wong's reaction to finding out that Freddie Wong has died. Does anybody want to get into that a little bit?
He's like initially he's like in denial, basically. He's like
God.
walking around and he's like, "No, my dad's not dead," or fucking like,
Oh
"We're
right,
gonna play a
right.
game,"
No,
or
he's like
whatever.
he keeps asking for more ice cream or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Well, okay. So it's done in a way. He goes, "Oh, I gotta take a poo poo. This ice cream is making me poo poo."
Yeah, everyone finds out Freddy's dead before him, and they have to break the news to him.
They have to break the news to him, but the way there's a better way to
he has
do
to
it.
do a
that-
poo-poo.
it's funny
Yeah.
that he has
He
to
has
do
to
a
do a
poo-poo.
big ice cream poo-poo.
Oh, I
so he
dropped
comes
the
out-
ice cream.
He comes. It literally goes like this. He comes out and he's like, "False alarm! I just had to fart." And then they sit him down, and the older gentleman in the show, I don't know what his name,
It's
He's the
the
father,
redhead's
the
father. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
at her parents' house.
and he goes, "Ted, your father's dead. We just got the call." And then Teddy goes, "What? No." And he stands up and then he sits down in another chair and then he's like, "Can I have more ice cream?"
And
I
it's
think
like
that's what
this is supposed to be his big dramatic moment. Like he's crushed and he's in denial and he's just doing anything to get out of his head. But it's just so fucking dumb,
the-
and it's in this
the way
stupid
they-
video game high school show, and it's just
Yeah,
The
it's,
way
it's
they
very-
play his denial is just by having him say a bunch of non sequiturs.
Yeah,
He'll
yeah,
just say
yeah.
random shit, and at one point they're like playing a game before they tell him to. So he goes like, "What? No, let's play." And then he
Yeah.
like turns his attention
Oh,
back to the
right.
game for half a second. And he goes, "Okay, so whose turn was it?" And he stares at the board for another second before flipping the whole fucking thing off the table and walking away.
I have to do another poo poo.
he had to take another poo poo. He had to do it. It's just kind of weird to have something that's kind of that heavy in a video game high school show.
I did really like, and this is later on, and they get Freddie Wong's will, and it's in like a video.
Yeah.
And this,
Oh,
this
one of the
was
best-
this is
this is one of the best bits in
this
the
is
show.
great. I'll let
but
you
they
can- you
also
can
kind
go
of
ahead,
ruin it.
Hunter,
Like
if you want.
they kind
this
of
is
ruin
great.
it like almost every other good concept in the show.
Yeah.
But they get his will, and Freddy's fucking like giving all his stuff away to like people he's never met, but like just rockers that have inspired him or whatever, because he's like a Guitar Hero legend or whatever. And he's giving Theo like the mic messes up or whatever, the lab mic, and he's like blaming Theo, his son. And it turns out that the entire time he's been recording this will, that his son was the one behind the camera
Right.
filming it.
And he's like,
And
been
that's a good
watching it
bit.
intently on the TV, like as if he's expecting
Yeah.
to get something.
Yeah, like
and
if
then
it's the first,
and
yeah,
he was
it's
there.
the first time he's seen it.
Yeah.
He completely forgot about the time that
That
his
was
father
legitimately
with
a
a
good
mic.
bit. That was well delivered.
But he like comes out from behind the camera and kind of ruins the joke, and they like keep just arguing about the mic, and
Yeah,
It's
just
dumb.
dragging it out.
It should have. Yeah, it should really. A good way to end that would be, first of all, don't have the Theodore, don't have him watch it, and then just have like the family and everyone else watch it or whatever.
Yeah,
Oh
Somehow.
yeah, like they could have played it off like, "Oh, I already know what's on that tape."
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
wanna
exactly.
watch it."
Because he helped him fucking record it. There's
And he does-
you would remember recording your father's will.
I kind of
Especially-
interpreted it as like he's in such denial that he like pushes that out.
Oh
or
no,
something.
there's no
I don't
will.
know.
I didn't see this. I never saw
Right,
this.
right, yeah.
But I especially like I do agree that they kind of took that bit too far and spoiled it a bit. But I do really like that they had him come up to fix the microphone.
Yes.
And
No, that
Freddy
was good.
Wong just takes a big puff of smoke and blows it right in his face.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That was good. That
Yeah,
was
like,
good.
puffs a
That was
cigar in his face or
yeah. He
something.
should have. You know what he should have done? He should have been drinking when he was doing that. He should have taken a big glug and then right in his fucking face, and then they should cut back to the family watching it horrified. That's how it would be in a real movie, but it's in
But,
video
like,
game high school.
That version is gonna show up in
legitimately
video game
funny
college.
scene
Yeah.
is like sandwiched in between like these long drawn out like people like weeping over the death of
Yeah,
Freddy
everyone
Wong.
else is
It's
fucking like
weird.
teary eyed and
I
crying
think-
and shit.
Yeah.
I think
It's
the
fucking
weird
bizarre.
fucking psychological thing going on there is that it's like, oh, well, I'm the person who's dying. I, Freddy Wong, am the one who's dying, so it's okay if I'm funny in this scene. But if other people are funny, then it's like being
That's disrespectful to me.
unkind. It's disrespectful,
To
yeah.
me,
I
Freddy
get
Wong.
no, but they kind of. I will say I was sort of expecting like a very weird because you know how this fucking internet shit usually is. I was expecting like an episode where okay, his character died, and now literally every person is like sad for the rest of the season because Freddy Wong is dead.
And they just
But
talk about
really-
the moments that they had with him and how much they liked him and shit.
Yes,
or whatever.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they
That's
fucking
what I was
fluff his
expecting.
ego. Yeah.
That's what I was expecting.
Freddy
But-
Wong in
but
his own
that-
show
that
has
doesn't
people
happen.
talking about
So,
how cool he is.
To Freddy Wong's credit, it's not like an ego thing. This
Well,
whole.
No, that's where I disagree with you.
It
Heather.
They
doesn't
literally
go-
say it's good he
I-
died.
I understand that, and that's
Yeah, the
my
autistic
thinking.
girl
I
says
think
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Freddy Wong was going to kill himself, and then he realized, oh, this sounds too much like an ego project. But if I make myself an asshole, then it's self-deprecating and it's okay.
But he was an
Yeah.
asshole from the beginning, so was
He was
that
always an
planned from the
asshole.
beginning?
Yeah,
I don't think it was planned because it
I
was
don't
made
think
with
I
the
don't
idea
think
of
he
it
had
being one
season.
season.
I don't think
right?
he had season 3. I don't
Yeah,
think he
'cause
has.
No.
no,
yeah,
I
they
don't
had to
think he
kickstart
planned
the
out
rest
the
of
whole
the
season.
season or
I'm
whatever.
saying that I don't think it's not an ego project just because he made his character an asshole. That's
I
still
mean, the whole-
screen time.
No, I
You-
agree.
you-
Actually, yeah, like it's almost like the self-deprecating thing is like, oh yeah, it's okay. I'm not being narcissistic because I'm an
okay.
asshole.
Yeah,
right.
Like it's his
No.
excuse to have himself in
No.
the show.
Exactly.
I
Yes,
see.
it's
Yeah,
definitely-
yeah.
Yeah.
The whole show, him and the show. The whole show is definitely like an ego project. I'm saying that kudos to him for not taking it to an embarrassing,
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
specifically for that plot line.
Right. Okay. Specifically.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I get what you mean.
He did it in a way where it's like in a normal show this would be good, you know? In a show that wasn't Video Game High School, this sort of structure and everything
Mm.
would be like good. You can make this good.
Yeah,
With
if
the
there were
same
actual like
plot
good
point,
characters and a good plot and everything else was good, then it'd be
Well,
good.
If it was a good show, this would have been good in
If
the
it
show.
was if it was a different show, it would have been good. I will say,
Yes.
just a disclaimer: we didn't go into this because everyone's gonna, all 5 people who watch this are gonna think these guys are fucking dickhead assholes, and they already switched off probably. So the one person who's still watching this is gonna say, "These guys, I hope they fucking die in a fire or something." You know, what would be a bad way to die, Kai?
I think a bad way to die would be driving your motorcycle down the road and then you see Freddy Wong coming from the other direction dressed like T. Lawrence.
Oh,
And then
you
you have a head-on collision and you both just pulverize each other into meat chunks. That would be
Okay,
pretty
so
bad.
yeah, that's what the one guy is saying. I hope every single one of these guys. I hope they ride on a. They have one of them drives a motorcycle and it has
Wait, you're wishing death on our
4 other
wheels?
carts on it,
Okay.
the little carts, and then they all crash into Freddy Wong, and everyone dies. That's what the one guy is saying. We didn't go into this. My point is, we didn't go into this expecting like a masterpiece or anything really. We were expecting a time.
It was
cap-
better
I was
than I
expecting a
expected.
good time. I was expecting fun, and it was fun. and
I
funny.
wasn't.
It was
I,
fun.
It was
It was
very
fun.
fun.
I thought it was going to be miserable, and it was actually, yeah, it was fun.
I would recommend if you were in middle school / high school in 2012, I would recommend watching
Yeah.
this.
Don't watch it on your own.
Not on your own.
Yeah,
no.
not on your
Watch
own.
it in a Discord call with your fucking friends.
Yeah.
With your friends who were also in middle school or high school.
Make them
That
watch
also
it.
have
Make them
irony
watch it,
poisoning.
because then it will be funnier if it's not up to them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you should make them watch it. Yeah, you're
I
right.
appreciate it as like a time capsule of that era.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like like just the
I
thought
enjoyed
of
it.
like this is what the culture was back then.
Yeah.
Like, this is just
This was the peak of cool in 2011.
Yeah, like that's just what cool was. It was fucking first person shooting and leet speak and fucking girls that say kick ass and stuff like that. And you know, it was a
yeah.
better time. I
Yeah,
wish we
just-
could go back.
better
Take me
time.
back.
Wish we could turn
Please
back time
take me
to
back.
the good old days.
Remember in 2012 when summer was like only 4 months or so?
Right, and now we're it's all year round summer.
It's all year round summer. Or you
Oh
get-
yeah. There were
There's that-
seasons back then.
yeah, there were seasons back then. There were 4 seasons, not 2.
It is funny how like apolitical the show is too. Like you know for a fact, like if it was made today, like there would be like
Oh, God.
there would be like a mental health kind of thing. There would be like a representation thing.
The principal would have been like a Trump knockoff.
Right,
He
yeah.
would have actually been autistic.
Right,
and they would have
exactly.
acknowledged
Yes,
it.
yes,
As
absolutely.
an
Yeah.
autistic
Oh
RA.
jeez.
That-
Yeah,
like,
they would have.
There was a moment in there when there was like this chick who was just like an extra basically, and she was like Blasian or something. And I just thought, if this was made today, she would be the love interest.
Oh yeah,
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 yeah.
you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're right.
and also they wouldn't be playing Call of Duty; they would be playing League of Legends because that's all
Now we're playing
anyone does now.
Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Even League of Legends is like past its prime now. It's
Right,
all
like
about
culturally,
battle royale and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that is interesting. Is at the time that this was made, which was what would we say it was 2011?
2012.
2012.
Yeah,
But
2011,
like, if
2012.
you think about it, would have
Like-
been in development like 2010, 2011.
Okay, yeah. So because of the time period that it was made in, this is a whole video game high school where they have separate classes for every type of game you can think of, including like
That's another weird
puzzle
thing.
games and social games.
And
But they
drift
have
games.
absolutely no mention of MOBAs at all. No
Yeah,
League
that
of
is bizarre.
Legends,
Oh yeah.
no
yeah.
Dota,
No battle
nothing.
royales.
Oh my
And
god!
you know what? Respect.
I just had the most despicable thought, which is they would have like an Among Us ripoff, and there would be like
Oh.
an Among Us class where you get the best at being the imposter or something.
Oh my god, the fucking Among Us references that this would have had
Oh,
in current time
My
would have
fucking
been.
god!
It would have been worse than the
Yeah.
Rafflecopter shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like now that
Oh, yeah.
we're away from
It would have been every other line.
right.
Oh my
it,
god.
Like this show
You're
is
1
so
point
it's so
away from
quaint.
expulsion, and that's pretty sus. Ha
Yeah,
ha.
exactly.
Oh.
Like every other line, they would have said sus.
Jack, that caused me physical pain. Jesus Christ, man. But like, yeah, now that we're away from it, it's so quaint. All of like
It is very
Rafflecopter and like 360 no scoping, and they had like the Team Fortress 2 Nope meme in there. as
Oh
well.
yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
It feels like that this is a zoo exhibit, but it's like
Yes.
a really old zoo exhibit, like an ancient tiger of some kind. So they've
Oh, yeah.
successfully quarantined it behind the glass at this point, so there's no chance of it leaking out and infecting your life in any way.
Mhm.
They
And you can just
encased
kind
it in
of
resin.
observe.
It's perfectly
Yes.
preserved.
Yeah,
It's the mosquito and amber.
you can just safely observe it from a
Yeah.
distance.
Yeah.
And that's what we recommend you do: is safely observe this show from a distance with your friends.
It is kind of, but also the guy going through, you're like a mosquito watching the mosquito in the
Yes. You, the viewer, are a bug to us.
yeah. But I give it a 5 stars out of 5. 5
Yeah.
popcorn.
5 popcorns
uh,
out of
what's-
5.
Roger Ebert is what? He does stars.
Hmm
I give it 5.
He does 4, doesn't he?
I would
I
say
think he
the
has, yeah,
show
Roger
is like
Ebert is 4 out of 4.
is like
He just
2
had to be
stars,
different.
but the experience was 5 stars.
Also, we're called the movie Retars, and we're reviewing a web series.
It's close enough, you know.
It's
Anything,
good.
you know. I hear that
Um,
video games are cinema these days, so we can do video
Ever
game
since
reviews. That's coming up
coronavirus,
next.
everything is a movie.
What the fuck is coronavirus? All right, you guys want to go play some Modern Warfare 2?